So can we have a 60-second biography, please?
Thank you. I'm the fourth generation Eureka. I was raised by my grandmother after the death of both of my parents before I was 8 years old. I graduated from the University of Arkansas with a degree in architecture in 1973 and moved back to Eureka Springs to take care of my grandmother and started an architectural firm. That year I was also appointed to the Planning Commission and served for the next 8 years, with 2 of those years as chair. During that time I was also actively involved in establishing the Eureka Springs Preservation Society and the Arts and Cultural Affairs Committee, along with being on the Historic Museum Board of Directors. After my grandmother's death, I took a job in Little Rock, where I was director of the Capital Zoning District Commission. In '96, I returned to Eureka Springs and established my architectural firm. I was appointed to the Planning Commission in '99 and served 2 years as chair. In 2003, I was appointed to the City Council and presently serving my second term. I'm presently married to Lynn Berry, and my stepdaughter Mara was born in 1980 in the same Eureka Springs Hospital as I was.
All right, Ms. Harrison?
I've lived for about 30 years now, and I've belonged to lots of organizations here in town. I was president of the Preservation Society and was on their board for 7 years. I've served on the Planning Commission. I've also served on the City Council and have been mayor for 4 years. I mean, I have over 8 years experience in municipal government and have an ability, which is not always a great thing, but I remember numbers so I can recall state code and municipal code fairly well. Rather than talk about myself, I think my record speaks for itself as far as always following the law. I would like to instead ask that if anyone wants to have another forum where the citizens get to ask questions, this building is available due to a cancellation of a court date, Friday night the 27th, and if any civic group would like to give a forum where people can ask questions rather than us asking each other questions, that would be great. And I would like to withdraw my question for Mr. Berry.
Okay. To not be asked.
That's correct.
Okay. Let's see. Those were the bios, correct? Right. So the question to each of you, 90-second response time. What do you think is the most important issue facing the community today, and why?
I believe that planning for the future is the most important issue facing our community today. Change is inevitable. How we deal with that change is going to affect all of us living and working in Eureka Springs for years to come. All you have to do is look at Bentonville, Key Ridge, Centerton, and see what uncontrolled growth can do to small business. We need to reach a community consensus on where we're going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. I'd love to see Eureka Springs as community work together and update the Bounty Living Plan that was completed in the 90s and is well over 50 years old. We need to provide incentives and seek funds for affordable housing so our workers and our children can afford to live here. We need to have incentives to attract new businesses year-round to our residents so they can afford to stay here. We've continued with upgrading and expanding water and sewer to our citizens. The city's promised for years to provide water and sewer to all of our residents because as taxpayers, they are owed it legally and morally. In my opinion, economic and fiscal planning for the future is a necessity towards continued to live in an environment where we all live and love.
Ms. Harrison?
I agree with some of the items that Mr. Berry mentioned. I do think that one of the most important things that we don't seem to do is we've had more studies and more vision plans than any small community I know of. We just had the Rural Design Institute here, the Eureka Institute. They pointed out to us we have a gem and we need to preserve it. What we need to do is not only embrace but promote that very item that we are the best at, which is our Arts and Cultural District. If anybody out there is curious, look at Paducah, Kentucky. Their city embraces, builds, buys, encourages the artists to live there. They also subsidize their banking facilities, subsidize up to 300% of the value of condemned properties where they allow artists to move in and upgrade it. We're talking about infill between here and North Main and how important it is that we use that area and make it a better place. There's 20 cities in Maryland, today in Illinois are doing exactly the same thing. They're selling nationwide on the internet their artist's work. It is an economic boom. It is good for everybody in the town, and they're all benefiting greatly by embracing who and what they are, and I think we're them, but better.
All right. Second question is, what will be the first ordinance you will try to pass as an alderman in 2007?
Well, outside of passing the budget, is probably the most important thing, as you mentioned before. It's also required by state law. I really don't have an agenda on getting any specific ordinance passed, unless the sign ordinance doesn't get adopted this year by City Council. I've been involved with trying to get an updated sign ordinance passed for over 4 years. I actually believe that, we have a lot of existing ordinances that may need to be reviewed and determined to see if they're unenforceable or arbitrary. If they are, then maybe that needs to be removed. But I think more than anything, I would also encourage the city to establish procedures for the planning commission and the historic district and the parks commission to hold joint public hearings for meetings so that expedite cities' applications and ensure the
I'll let everyone else and wait and see what happens through the votes that are on the ballot at this time. And if the CAPC didn't pass, I think one of our first orders of business would be reestablishing that income, whether it's reestablishing the CAPC or rebuilding what we have to have for our choice income. I've heard a lot of misinformation about that, the monies and what the city would lose, and actually the city will not lose any money. Our money comes from property taxes, from other revenue lines, and that $2 million, we actually did, well, this year we gave $124,000 to the CAPC, not the opposite way. The budget is going to be very important this year. We only have a 2% increase in our income right now this month, and I don't believe that we'll have the money to do anything more than COLA raises for all the municipal employees, which is 95% of our budget, is always the employees.
Sure. All right. This is what's called for. Anyone here from Montana? This is, when I told people in Fayetteville that I was going to be coming to Eureka Springs to host this, the words that everyone told me in Fayetteville, and we can be a litigious community ourselves, was that Eureka was spirited and passionate about their politics. I think that's true. And I think that's better than the alternative, don't you? So, it all depends? Okay.
I mean, I would use the
Okay, so this comes to the cold question, and you have withdrawn yours?
I thought that it didn't include the citizens, and for us to ask each other questions is not where I want to go.
Okay, Mr. Barron, you have a cold question you would like to ask? Okay, this is the one that Mr. Barron submitted.